Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode here at Be a Boss Coaching's YouTube channel. My name is Beatriz, and today I want to talk to you about building consistency. And I'm sure you or people that you know have struggled with the idea of building consistency, but I've been reflecting on it, and I really want to share with you what insights I've gotten from meditating over the past 31 days, for example. That has been an area of my life where I built consistency. And I want to talk to you about it today because it's been on my mind a lot lately. It's come up in my sessions with the clients that I have, and it's a constant struggle. So many of us struggle with this. And I want to be able to talk about how we create consistency in a way that's intentional and in a way that allows us to stay, because the other part of this also is about not just building consistency around a habit that we want to form, but then how do we actually get it to stick? How do we stay in that flow? Because what happens is that we get into this rhythm of getting into a consistent habit, right? It feels good. We get into this rhythm of flow, but then we lose track and we get out of our flow. So, for example, if we want to build consistency in posting, right? Maybe we begin to start posting every day, once a day for 7 days, and we feel really good about it, but then we fall off with our daily rituals, our exercise routine. Maybe we want to get up at the same time every day. When you're an entrepreneur, consistency shows up in so many places. And the feeling of falling off track can be difficult to feel and to accept. So, how do we create consistent habits in our business? For example, we want to build consistency in our month-to-month cash flows. Maybe we want to build consistency in our social media and marketing. Maybe we want to show up regularly for our audience, creating content consistently, getting consistent customers and clients. Maybe even having a clear and consistent message for your business. So how do we build consistency that lasts? And I want to share some tips with you today that I really have gathered from my experience creating a new habit into my life. And that habit has really helped me just to see other areas in my life where I can help myself and my clients. Okay, so let's dive right in. And let's start with tip number 1. So the first thing that I would say is, and honestly, let me scratch tip number 1 and say step number 1. It's actually more of steps because it is a linear step or process that I want you to follow so that it gives you a structure for how to reflect on this. So step number 1 is identify areas where you're already consistent. And this is really important because it gives us a starting point that oftentimes we overlook. We focus a lot on when we're not consistent, that we actually miss on the proof that we can be consistent in other areas of our lives. Think about it. Let me give you a few examples. One could be brushing your teeth every day, right? That's number 1. That's one example. And I'm sure most of us do that. If you're not, you should be. Another example could be walking your dog every day. Do you walk your dog every single day? Twice a day? That is an area of your life where you're consistent. Maybe you get your nails done every week, or maybe you do your bed before you leave for work every day. These are all examples of consistency that you probably don't even think about because they're just part of your routine, right? They exist in your everyday life. They've become so automatic. But I want you to think about these areas intentionally because even if they seem small or insignificant, they are proof that you have the ability to be consistent. You just need to apply those same patterns to your business. Step number 2 is understand your why. Are we avoiding pain or seeking pleasure? And this is really fascinating. When I was reflecting on my own consistency patterns, I realized that most habits fall into one of these 2 categories. We're either trying to avoid a consequence or we're chasing a reward. And let's take the example of walking your dog. Why are you consistent with this? Probably because you don't want poop all over your house, right? You're avoiding a negative consequence. Or maybe you meditate daily like I do. I do it because I enjoy that feeling of calm and clarity. that it gives me, and I'm chasing that positive feeling. That's my reward. So look at your consistent habits and ask, what's driving this? Understanding your motivation pattern is super important because it helps you to structure new habits in a way that works for your brain. Step number 3 is choose an area where you want to build more consistency. Here is the thing. I want you to identify just one area in your business where you want to be more consistent. Maybe it's posting on social media. Maybe it's creating YouTube videos, sending your newsletter, or maybe it's following up with leads. I would say, don't try to think about building consistency everywhere all at once, because that's setting yourself up for failure. Choose one area that you want to give attention to, your biggest one that's going to create impact, and focus there first. For me, it was my weekly newsletter and my YouTube channel. Those have been my 2 areas in my business where I have really put in a lot of my efforts into. And those became my non-negotiables because, one, I wanted to create consistency with my email list where I was able to nurture them or make sure I don't forget about my potential community that I already do have. And 2, with my YouTube channel is I really wanted to create long form content that I could then chop up into smaller pieces of content for other platforms. But YouTube would be the main platform, and YouTube is a search engine. All in all, right? It's a search engine. But it was the 2 main areas where I wanted to be consistent. And I would like for you to identify one area, just one, where you can be or would like to create more consistency within your business. And then step number 4 is connect with the feeling. What's your motivation? Once you've chosen your area, get really clear on why you want to be consistent here. Is it to avoid something negative or to experience something positive? For example, if you want to be consistent with your content, is it because you're afraid of being forgotten or losing relevance if you don't post? That's avoiding a consequence. Or is it because you love connecting with your audience and the creative process that energizes you? That's seeking a reward. And trust me, there's no right answer here, but knowing your motivation will help you stay consistent with things when you want to begin to get off track, right? Or even if you do get off track, come back to that feeling that connects you to why you want to build consistency for it, right? Connect to that feeling every time you want to show up. And then finally, step number 5 is identify your one main barrier and solve for it. What's the one thing that most often prevents you from being consistent in that area? Is it time? Maybe you need to block out specific time in your calendar. Is it perfectionism? Maybe you need to set a timer and post when it goes off no matter what. Is it lack of ideas? Maybe you need to batch brainstorm topics once a month. Tech challenges? Maybe you need to simplify your process or get some training. Find the one biggest barrier and focus on solving that barrier, because that barrier is what's gonna help you become consistent once you remove that barrier, and it makes it much easier for you to commit. Don't overwhelm yourself trying to fix everything all at once, right? Make it doable, start small. And I'm not gonna lie to you, it might not start off great. You might fail, because we do fail at consistency a lot. That's why I'm making this video. But that's why I ask you to start small, make it easy for you. Don't try to be too ambitious too fast. If you've never made a YouTube video before, for example, committing to 1 video per week might be setting yourself up to fail. So start really small. For example, if you want to be more consistent on social media, commit to just 1 Instagram story every day for the next 14 days. That's it. Something small that takes maybe 15 to 20 minutes total. And after those 2 weeks, I want you to notice if it's gotten easier. Once that small habit feels solid, then you can add something a bit more challenging, like a weekly post or a live video. Remember that consistency doesn't have to be hard. It actually starts with ease. That's the secret. You build consistency by starting from a place that's easy to show up from. Consistency isn't about grinding harder. forcing yourself to do things that you hate. It's about understanding yourself. That's really what we're trying to do here, is you're trying to understand yourself and then finding what motivates you and make it easy for you to show up. Make it easy for yourself, as easy as possible to show up. And remember that the goal isn't just consistency for consistency's sake. Okay, it's about consistently showing up with intention, with your values of service and helping other people, even if no one engages at first. Your intention was there, and that's what matters. Over time, as you keep showing up consistently from this place of genuine service, the followers, the clients, the cash flow will come, but they come because you focus first on serving, not on getting clients. So that's one area where you're going to start build consistency. Start there. Let me know in the comments below. And if you found this helpful, I want you to like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, come check out my other videos, and come back next week and come build community with me. My name is Beatriz. I don't think I even said that in the beginning of this video, but I'm Beatriz. I'm a business coach. I'm the founder of Be a Boss Coaching. I'm a social worker. I'm an introvert. I'm from LA, South Central. And I'm really glad you're here. So if you found this video, something connected us, I hope you take the next step and DM me, post a comment, follow me on Instagram, or go to beabosscoaching.com and send me a form and let's connect. Because we're all trying to build together, and it isn't easy, but we don't have to do it alone. So I'd love to be that help and support for you. So come on over, and I can't wait to get to meet you. Okay, have a great rest of your day. I will see you at the next video. Bye.